Welcome to the Conscious Parenting Show. Thank you for tuning in and choosing to become a more mindful parent. After all, your child deserves the best of you. And now, here's to your host, Geetika Mrig.
Hello and welcome to the Conscious Parenting Show. So glad you could be part of this special episode where we have a special guest. But let's recap a little first. In the previous few episodes, we spoke about dealing with intense situations with our kids that might seem small but cause the most impact on the children. We discussed some tips to handle tough situations and being more mindful in our day to day interactions with our kids. Today, with our special guest, we would like to address ways in which parents, working parents especially, can consciously parent their children guilt free and bring happiness into their lives and, in turn, the lives of their children. So, without waiting any longer, I would like to introduce my guest for today. I welcome Sriram on the show. Sriram is a happiness coach, mentor, and author of the book Happiness Habits: The Urban Professional's Guide to Good Living. He's worked over the past 2 decades with corporates leading human resources teams, which have given him a keen insight into the plight of the working professional. In his own pursuit of happiness, Sriram went on to doing several courses. The knowledge he gained and the massive self introspection led him to devise some steps that every urban professional can take to lead a happier life. All this is available just for you in his book, Happiness Habits: The Urban Professional's Guide to Good Living, which you can now buy on Amazon. My personal mentor for the past 2 years, Sriram, helped me quit the job I didn't like and helped me get on the path of what I now call my true purpose. Welcome to the show, Sriram. I'm truly grateful to you for coming on my show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your invitation. Very happy to be here.
So, Sriram, it's such an exciting time for you. Your book has come out. How has been the response? Are you enjoying how people are embracing the new thoughts that you've put out?
Yeah. I think it's been a good response. I think, I didn't imagine doing this a few years ago. And it's just that the fact that it's out there, people are buying it, and I'm able to, kind of confidently talk about it. Those are certainly, kind of big leaps for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. I've thoroughly enjoyed reading your book. So, you're a happiness coach, Sriram, and an urban professional. You're also a father of two very beautiful daughters. How has the parenting journey been for you so far?
See, the parenting journey has been fun, it's been challenging. But more than anything else, I think it's been a learning experience for me. I truly believe that kids are meant to teach us more than what we are meant to teach them.
Wow.
Okay, so they're like a mirror to us, and when they trigger us, when they make us proud, these are all instances which help us kind of discover where we are coming from. Why do I get triggered? What's the thought process? What's the belief that I have? And thereby it gives me an insight into who I am and what my gaps are. So I've kind of looked at parenting certainly as something which has helped me grow. And my daughters Ananya and Kimaya, very different personalities. So first
Mhm.
was my elder one, and then that worked really well. And then my second one comes, she's completely extroverted, opposite to me. Then suddenly I had to change my kind of parenting style. And by the time I thought I finished that, my elder daughter was into her teens. So then that required a different style. So I think this kind of thing kind of continues. And I think parenting is more of our own journey to become better individuals, and it also has the potential of being a very fulfilling one if we do our job right.
Wonderful. So, what you're saying is no one shoe fits all.
Certainly.
How wonderful. So, Shriram, I've read your book, and in your book, you talk about how you found your way to happiness after a brush with death. So, with your experience, what does happiness really mean to you as an urban professional?
All right, so I had a close brush with death, and even without that, I had perhaps reached a success definition that that the outer world holds. I was doing well, I had money, I had a good house, good children, all of that. But then there was certain emptiness within, and I couldn't figure out why why I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And when this instance happened, then I said, okay, I can't waste any more time. I need to kind of figure this out before time runs out. And that's how I kind of started looking very deeply into what's happening within me, what's out there in terms of what I can learn and so on. And in that whole pursuit, with the mindset of an urban professional, I discovered that you needed 7 quests to pursue happiness in the modern context. Those 7 things were: one, first is that our fundamental purpose is to become better people, better souls. Okay, so become a better me. Second is follow your purpose, like how you said, right? You discovered your purpose, different energy about who you are. So follow your purpose. Third is we need to have balance in all the important dimensions of our life: wealth, career, parenting, health, spirituality. All of that needs certain balance. It cannot go below a certain threshold. Okay. Next is emotional resilience. We need to learn to manage our emotions well. We need to. Next would be being in flow, where you manage your energies on a day-to-day basis as a thing. Then there is mindfulness and healing. If you are able to follow these quests, and these are interlinked, but all of them are important. So the journey towards happiness requires us to focus on all 7 aspects. And as you make progress, things get better in your life. So that's my, kind of the theory that I put forward in the book as well. And it requires us to do work. It requires us to, kind of do work on a daily basis, because happiness is a journey, happiness is a choice, and happiness is an inside job. And in spite of your circumstances, you can be happy today.
Wow.
Requires you to, kind of work on these 7 quests.
Yeah, but you must meet so many professionals in your day-to-day life, and everybody is just hustling between work, home, parents, kids, marriages, and so on. Do you think people can really make that amount of time to do all this?
The way I've thought about it is install certain rituals into your daily life. So these have to become part of you on an everyday basis. And it doesn't really take too much time per se. It requires awareness and some amount of practice. But the practice increases your awareness, and thereby you kind of feed off each other. So, but if you can create rituals in your day, some in the morning, some while eating, some while you're meeting people, and some while you're just going to sleep, that itself will, kind of give you a good beginning. And when you see results, then you're, more motivated to follow through and do more.
Right. So basically, plugging in small practices in your ongoing day instead of making out time 1 hour in the morning and evening and so on. But while I was thinking, while you were speaking, I was thinking that many of my friends and me for a period of time were not even aware that we were going through those warning signals of being unhappy. We just thought that's how corporate life is, that your boss will be unhappy and you'll get those unhappy emails and then you'll have to work 16 hours a day. So can you specify, say, 3 warning signs that anybody should start taking seriously, knowing that, okay, now I'm not happy with where I am in life? I mean, if it might not just be the job, it might be a relationship that people are in. So any 3 triggers that you might feel that are important?
See, I think the first thing is we need to focus on our feeling. I think feeling is the biggest clue to how well you are doing. It cannot be faked. Thoughts you can manipulate, okay, but feelings you cannot manipulate. So your best barometer of how you are doing is through your feeling. So learn to tune into your feeling, and when that is imbalanced, when you're not feeling good more often than not, that's certainly a huge trigger. And for me, that's the biggest trigger. When you focus on it, it's not going, it's telling you something is wrong. And sometimes you're also, kind of pushed into doing something else because your purpose is somewhere else, your talents are somewhere else, and you're stuck because you have fear of, getting out of, your comfort zone. You don't try. And then your feeling is your barometer. It tells you, hey, this is not meant for you. Come on, you need to do something else. But we keep, kind of arresting that and trying to, kind of not go into that. So for me, I think that's one of the biggest, kind of things that we need to really look at. And second is, I think, also to look at what are your pains in your life. Where is the pain coming from? All the things that are not working are your second truth, which is that, oh, I have a relationship issue, or I have a boss issue, or I have a health issue. All those again, okay, are kind of indicators of thing. The third is that you need to be passionate. You need to feel that energy surging through you when you are doing something on a day-to-day basis. That's again a very important clue as to whether you are alive. Your sign of aliveness comes with your energy, and that energy reflects in what you do. Like I'm speaking, I can feel the differences in energy versus when I'm kind of working in office. So I know that this is what I need to do more of.
Oh, so wonderful, Sriram. Anyway, it's always such a pleasure to hear you speak. We really hope we hear you so much more.
Thank you.
All right. My next question to you is: do you think that happier parents raise happier children? I mean, being a parent yourself, can you share some beliefs where you've noticed that these were your beliefs and now come to your children, and maybe you've taken some steps over a period of time to change them, improve them, improvise?
Sure. It's certainly happier parents, are because make a difference because you are your role models. You are the role
Right.
model for your children. But what we don't understand is we think that we're teaching children through what we say and what we tell them. But what children absorb is who you are. They learn from who you are by watching what you do, how you react, how you deal with people, what are your responses around money, and so on. So that's the difference. We think, oh, I am teaching my kid, I'm telling them this and all that. All that doesn't matter. They are
Right.
learning from who you are. So the first thing is, if you are happy, most certainly it's likely to rub off on them. Okay.
Right.
That's the first part of the response. Second is, I think there are three important beliefs which I have personally tried to not pass on to my kids. The three, they are: one is, I'm not important, I'm not good enough, mistakes are bad. And I just give you some instances of how commonly these things happen. Right? One is, we keep saying no. No, you can't do this, you can't watch TV, you can't
Yeah.
go out, and all of that, and we don't explain why. It's
Why?
just that, oh, I am the authority, I'm telling you, you have to listen. What does it tell the kid? I'm not important.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or I commit something and I don't deliver. Oh, we'll go out today. But then, oh, I had work in office, so I couldn't. But for the kid, it means that, oh, I'm not important. That's why, I'm not being given that, kind of the commitment is not being followed through. Second is that I'm not enough. Okay, we keep telling people, oh, you're lazy, you don't eat well, all of those, with good intentions of
Right.
making the child healthier, making the child smarter, and so on. But what we keep conveying to them through our words is that, oh, I'm lazy. What does that mean? I'm not good enough for my parents. I'm not good enough. And you keep doing
Yeah.
that, it keeps getting, kind of reinforced. And third is, mistakes are bad. Oh, you spilled milk. How can you do this? Can you not, even do the simple thing? And so on. So then, oh, I shouldn't make mistakes at all. Or I have to cover up my mistakes as a thing, right? And what I've tried to do is that first is I have to manage my response in that situation, which is the biggest challenge for us, that because we get triggered.
Right.
Naturally
Right.
you get triggered, right? Oh, as a thing. But managing my response at that point of time has been my biggest, kind of learning. And when I manage that response and not let my emotions run wild, then I have a learning opportunity, where then after a while I'm able to sit with my kids and tell them, hey, do you think that you could have done anything different in terms of not spilling that milk? Then you actually get them to engage in a solution. They know that what they've done is wrong, but by diverting it, one is that you're telling them mistakes are okay, so you can experiment. Okay, but you're also
Right.
getting them to think, well, okay, how do I own it, how do I make this better, right? And I think that those are the huge, kind of things which I believe have made me a better parent.
Oh, that's so wonderful. But that precise moment when the milk is spilled and you have a deadline and you don't know how to react because you are so angry with your child. and you just need to take it back. What is that one thing, Sriram, that you do to not react the way people normally do and make your child feel that, okay, I've done something really wrong?
I just take deep breaths. Okay, you get triggered,
Uh-huh.
and it's not that you're able to control it all the time. So sometimes you do when it's strong enough. You kind of get affected by the trigger. But then I understand the consequences of it because you shout, or then it makes
Right.
them feel. It doesn't take you to where your parenting journey has to take you. Then what's the point? It just meant that I lost control.
Right, right.
Okay? So then my whole thing is that I am triggered. That first is to identify I'm triggered. I
Uh,
don't like this, and to pause and take deep breaths.
yeah.
Just and get out of that situation. Either pull out of there, pause, take deep breaths, go drink some water, anything that will kind of give you that split second pause, that few microseconds, if you're able to kind of pass through, because it's important for me not to react badly.
That's
Once
so
I pass through
beautiful.
that, then it comes. So it's a practice. Doesn't happen
Yeah.
overnight. You keep practicing because it is important for me not to lose control. If I lose control, I'm not attaining that objective that I want. I keep reminding myself, sometimes you make mistakes. It's okay. It's all right. Then I learn from that, and you keep moving on.
This is like conscious parenting, high level 7 or something, that
Yeah.
you really become so aware. But it's so beautiful. I think the journey to that also is wonderful. And I would just like to tell my listeners that if you want to know a little more about this, I have spoken about this in two of my episodes. One is Take a Step Back and Breathe, and Oh Captain, My Captain. So if you want to listen a little more about this, so you should go check those episodes out. Yeah, done with my promotion of the episode, Sriram. Thank you for that space. Okay, so we'll go on to the next question. So, how can our urban professional parents practice guilt-free parenting given that time is always limited and always of such essence, and they're always, struggling to balance between work and home and children and their own personal space?
I think the first thing would be just learn to be happy yourself. If you're happy yourself, and to be happy yourself, pursue the quest. Okay, that is the journey. If you can be happy yourself, everything else kind of settles down around you. The guilt goes away. Okay,
Right.
but then that is itself a journey, and it doesn't happen overnight. So as you're progressing through that journey, I think it's important for us to remember a few things. One is, we don't need to control everything. You cannot control your life. You cannot be sure that you're going to be alive tomorrow. So let's get out of this illusion that we need to control and make life very comfortable. Because what I've seen is that sometimes even one single instance, it can happen somewhere in school, and that can become a deeply rooted belief that the child will hold on into their adult life. So what are
Wow.
you trying to do? So anything can happen. So do your best, bring in balance where possible. Let's be logical and do your best, and understand that, this is the best that you can do. If required, have a dialogue with the child so that you manage that expectation as well. Then just be a good role model. Be a good role model, manage your emotions well. I think if you're able to do some of these things, automatically, the guilt reduces. And it has to be a conscious, effort.
Right, right. Sriram, do you also have some activities that you do with your children, like that are very focused on them? And, like some people spend some time with their kids, or some people, take their kids hiking or out for a ride or drive, or they have those family rituals of having dinner together every day. Is there something that you also follow to have a more stronger relationship with your kids?
I think a few things that I do. One is, I realize that the mobile phone is a huge kryptonite. So whenever I'm talking to the kids, I put it away. So then it
Right.
allows me to engage with them fully.
Mm-hmm.
Second is, I certainly try to spend some time in the night before they sleep, just getting them
Right.
to chat up. How was your day? What went well? Focus on the positive.
Uh-huh.
Because just before you sleep, if I can get them to focus on the positives, what did you learn today as a thing? So those are things. And I think the other thing that I try to do is, I don't force them into learning something just because I want them to learn. Instead,
Mm-hmm.
I try and showcase that in front of them, by
Wow.
either by reading, or if I'm, kind of doing some kind of an activity as a thing. So I do it in front of them so that eventually, even if not now, they get inspired, like meditation. I do meditation every day.
Uh-huh.
Make sure that the
Right,
doors
right.
are open. They know that I'm meditating. I've never asked them to do it, but then sometimes my younger one will come and sit next to me. So,
Wow.
so I think our model is that you allow them to experiment, but you tell them that, hey, this is good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's good if you can, kind of take it up, but never kind of thing, and then give them some exposures where you can say, hey, this is a 5 minute thing. Can we just do it together? Sometimes they'll say yes,
Yeah.
sometimes no. So it's more of that, exposure through, by watching and seeing, oh, okay, my dad used to meditate, and I've seen that it's changed, how he was. Maybe I should also try it. So it's more of that, leave them with those, seeds,
Right,
okay,
right.
so that sometime that seed will bear fruit.
Wow. Any activity that you expose them to and they've taken up well?
See, certainly my younger one, especially,
Uh-huh.
kind of, whenever I go for my exercise, she comes with me. And then her whole thing is that if I do a 45-minute routine, she'll do the entire routine.
Oh, wow.
And now the trainer also, whenever, because we can do it only when they're at home. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're at school, but when they're at home, then the routine is also that we do it together. So certain things, we kind of combine and do activities. And so it's kind of, see, the whole point is to leave them saying that, hey, exercising is important, and you have to
Right.
do it as a daily routine. It's, it makes you a healthier, more energetic person. So you convey some of those things by saying, I am living it. I'm not forcing you
Right,
to do it
right.
right now, but I'm living it. And so the idea is that when they grow, these things become, part of their system.
Right. That's such a nice way to also spend some time with them
Yeah.
and see them grow and so on. All right. So, coming to our last question, what would be your advice for our listeners to lead a happier life as an individual, as a professional, and definitely as a parent?
See, I think we take life too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to, let go, become slightly lighter in terms of, how we perceive life, and enjoy the journey. So about the journey as a thing. And there is no perfection. Let's live with some imperfection. Let's judge less, be compassionate, be kind, be forgiving. I think if you're able to practice some of those things, we're certainly, kind of going to enjoy life a lot more. And today is the day that don't postpone life. Life cannot be postponed. Today is the day. Anything that you want to do, start today. Do it today. And which is why I recommend that, make practices which you can do today. And as you
Wow.
keep doing it, things start getting better. And eventually all these add up into making your life a more fulfilling one. Okay.
Actually, we usually do that. That at the end of the episode, we usually ask the guest to give one exercise that the parents can do. I think this is gonna be it. So take up some habit or a practice that you can do today
Yes.
and see how it works out. So that's out for you, parents. Superb, Shriram. This has been so amazing. I've been so excited for doing this for a couple of days. I'm so glad to have you here. You've been such a good guiding force for us and people. You can read his book, Happiness Habits, The Urban Professional's Guide to Good Living. Buy it on Amazon now and enjoy this elaboration of the 7 steps that you mentioned.
Yes. Yes.
Get
7.
to know a little more about it. It's a beautiful read. You'll love it.
Thank you.
Superb. Thank you. Thank you, Sriram, for being here with us.
Absolutely.
Really
Enjoyed it.
excited.
Enjoyed it. I hope your viewers and your listeners enjoy it too. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Thank you. All right. See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.